Here.
Senator Beasley. Senator Carnley.
Here.
Senator Estes.
Here.
Senator Jones. Senator Kitchens.
Here.
Senator Livingston. Senator Nelson. Senator Price.
Here.
Senator Singleton. Senator Stewart.
Here.
Senator Stutz.
Here.
Senator Williams. Senator Sessions.
Here. We have a quorum. Oh, Senator Jones showed up. We'll get him on roll. Thank you everyone for showing up for our first committee meeting of the session. We have 3 bills on the calendar. We got a public hearing on the second bill. We're gonna take these bills in order. We won't be voting on that second bill today. My bill will be carried over. There's several issues that we're working on in it, so I'll be carrying over SB 45 also. So with that, would clerk call the first bill?
Senate Bill 23 by Senator Williams.
All right, Senator Williams, unfortunately had to go to the doctor, but we have a capable new member of the Senate Ag Committee that's gonna handle this piece of legislation today. And welcome to Senator Wes Kitchens. We're glad to have you here, and you made the trip from 2 floors down up here. Several of us in this room have done that. Myself and Senator Chastain and who else around here did that? Senator Williams is not here. He had to go to the doctor. But with that, I'm gonna let you introduce this bill, and I think we do have a substitute, but go ahead and explain the bill, Senator Kitchens.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess this is my rookie initiation into the Ag Committee here, but this bill right here, we do have a substitute for this, but what this bill does is it basically outlaws certain food products. There's the word meat in there, and the substitute will say food products that are grown in a cultured setting, so grown in a petri dish using cells from other things and then sold as a meat product. It has some penalties in there along that, but be happy to answer any questions y'all may have.
All right, pretty good explanation. Anybody have any questions for the senator handling this legislation at this time? So we're on the bill, but we need to bring up the substitute. Is there a motion to bring up the substitute?
So moved.
Moved by Senator Jones, second by Senator Price. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we are on the substitute, and I believe our distinguished colleague explained the substitute well. So I entertain a motion. All right, you got it. All right. Senator Carnley, Senator Chastain with the second there. All right. Do we want a roll call or a voice vote good enough on this one? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations on getting your first bill out of the Senate.
Thank you very much,
Even
Mr.
though it
Chairman.
wasn't yours.
Thank you.
Senator Stewart.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for this opportunity. Before we go to the next bill, I want to acknowledge a very special guest here, the Dean of the College of Agriculture from Tuskegee University, Dr. Olga Bolden-Tilder. Could you please wave your hand?
All right. Glad to have you here. Would you like to address the Ag Committee while you're in the room?
I'm just so happy to be here and be able to hear you all do this very important work today.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Senator Stewart. All right. Clerk, call the next bill, which we will have a public hearing on.
Senate Bill 64 by Senator Stutz.
Senator Stutz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Moments, minutes, whatever you need, sir, to explain
Okay,
the
I'll make it
legislation.
very brief so we can get to the public hearing. This bill would simply authorize off-road vehicles to have a license plate and be used on county roads under certain conditions. Actually, for several years, I've had hunters in my district contact me about why can't we do this, and I finally decided to bring a bill about it, and a couple of groups have asked for me to hold it up and not vote on it so they could look at it, and then of course one group asked for a public hearing, but I want to hear what they have to say. But the fact is, a lot of off-road vehicles are already driven on the road, and there are agricultural exemptions already in place. So this will affect some people in agriculture, but it would primarily affect people that are hunting and park a little ways from where they have to go into the woods, and they drive their off-road vehicle down a county road for a distance and to get into wherever they're going to hunt. And so it would primarily affect them. But 22 other states have this in place, so we're not blazing any new trail by saying that. So that's a brief synopsis of the bill. Straightforward. You have to meet certain criteria to be road eligible. You would buy a license plate, and so it would generate revenues for the counties with the license plate, and we'll move on with the public hearing. That's my brief introduction.
Thanks, Senator. Before we go to public hearing, any members have any questions of the sponsor?
I don't have any questions.
Not right now. You wanna
We
wait?
can do it now or after the public hearing.
Okay, we can wait till after public hearing then.
That'd be-
All right,
thank you.
we'll begin. Who we got? First, Mr. Brassfield with the county commissions. Mr. Brassfield.
Thank
2
you.
minutes.
How long is Chairman? 10 minutes?
2 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, thanks very much. Just 2 or 3 comments about the legislation. I apologize. The issuing of the tag generates an expectation on behalf of the owner of the vehicle that the roads that we're authorizing them to drive on have been constructed in a manner that they can safely drive. And the next speaker will talk to you about the engineering issues that clearly county roads are not designed for these vehicles. That expectation then generates liability for the county commission. The county doesn't enjoy sovereign immunity as the state does. And so issuing the license to drive these vehicles that are clearly off-road vehicles is different than recognizing the fact that hunters park and drive the vehicle for a few hundred feet to where they're going to hunt. That's different than authorizing every vehicle to drive on the more than 60,000 miles of county roads, to cross almost 9,000 county bridges. That just generates for us liability concerns that are significant. We do recognize that people drive on these roads. We're not aware of law enforcement harassing these people or writing tickets. So in terms of being concerned about the negative impacts of legislation when where we are today, we're not aware of there being significant issues. I think, Mr. Chairman, I'd rather the county engineer have my time, so I'll stop after 1 minute and 17 seconds, which is a all-time record for me.
Thanks, Sonny. All right. Justin Hardy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and other senators. Good afternoon. My name is Justin Hardy. I'm the Lee County engineer. I appreciate you allowing me to take this time to express our concerns about Senate Bill 64. This bill, one very similar to it, was voted down last year by the Senate County and Municipal Government Committee. I'm here before you today representing the Association of County Engineers throughout this state. These types of vehicles considered in this bill are not designed to operate on dirt and paved roads publicly. In their owner's manuals, it says specifically that they're not to be operated on highway roads because they don't possess the safety equipment on-road vehicles are required to have: stability control, airbags, things of that nature. The Recreational Off-Highway Vehicle Association and the Specialty Vehicle Institute of America, both of these are national trade associations to promote the safe use of these type of vehicles, oppose this bill to allow them to be on county roads. Studies show that a large majority of off-highway vehicles deaths occur on public roads, over 60%, and of those, over 70% occur on paved roads. Now, from an engineer's standpoint, in Lee County, we have over 170 miles of unpaved roads. Some counties have more than 500 miles. It's a very common occurrence that when it starts to rain, these vehicles come out to play in the roads, play in the ditches. What they'll do is they create ruts, they drive in the ditches, which hampers the flow of storm water, and we have to, as soon as the weather allows us, come back out, reestablish the drainage features of the roadway to function properly so the on-road vehicles and the citizens can get to their places of business and places of work. I also feel that by allowing these vehicles to travel the paved roads, it's going to create thoroughfares to help access more unpaved roads that they're tearing up and more ditches that they're tearing up. Right now, it happens only in the most rural aspects of our county, speaking for Lee County. We've got high traffic counts in Lee County. Y'all know it's a growing county. I've got county roads that have 12,000, 15,000 cars a day. And we're now gonna add UTVs and side-by-sides to negotiate the traffic and those roadways at speed of 55 miles an hour, I think the bill has. I've got concerns with erratic driving, such as these vehicles are made for off-road. So when they're going down the road, if they see a ditch, they're gonna go play in it. They're gonna be swerving in and out. So what do the other on-road drivers do when they see a vehicle swerving off the road, swerving back onto the road? How will they know how to react? And it just is gonna create more problems for objects they may hit, cross drains, mailboxes, power poles. The majority of our paved roads have conditions such as rutting, base failures, upheavals, potholes. They affect the drivability of a narrow wheelbase vehicle. And if anything causes someone in one of these vehicles to have to react suddenly, they're not made to absorb that. They're likely to swerve, they're likely to roll over. I spoke with the Lee County Sheriff, Jay Jones, about this bill, asking if he had concerns from the sheriff's office standpoint. He'll be asked to enforce this if they are properly licensed with the proper equipment. And he's very concerned about what this would do. He's very concerned about the deaths that are already happening on county roadways. The other issues are private property. So with that, my time is coming to an end. Please do not allow for the licensing of these vehicles. Please don't go against the manufacturer's design and safety standards. There are too many deaths on our county roadways involving these types of vehicles today. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question before that. I've got a couple of questions about some of the points that you made.
Yes,
You said your sheriff is concerned about that, and it's against the law now.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Are they enforcing that law now? You act like they're just running everywhere now, ruining the shoulders and I mean,
On
your
certain
sheriff's
road
not
areas,
enforcing
yes.
any of those laws now?
I'm not saying the sheriff's not enforcing those. I'm not sure what he's doing to address it, but when I spoke to him, that was his concern that he asked me to pass along. I'm certainly not trying to represent that the sheriff's not addressing those things in Lee County.
And secondly, you talk about the roads not being designed, and Sonny mentioned that for it.
Yes.
And I asked Sonny about this last week when he called for the public hearing, and his answer was that he wasn't an engineer, so I'm gonna ask you. How would you design a road for a four-wheel vehicle like this? What I asked Sonny is, we have motorcycles on the roads all the time.
Yes, sir.
You know, they're less stable than a four-wheel drive all-terrain vehicle. What would be different in road design that would make a motorcycle safe to ride on the road, but one of these vehicles inherently not safe?
Well, my understanding is motorcycles are designed to be street legal and to negotiate those things. So as far as trying from a county engineer standpoint to design a road for off-road vehicles, I would first meet with the manufacturers of the off-road vehicles and let them tell me what does it need to have for this vehicle to operate safely on the roads and bridges. And right now they're saying the vehicle doesn't have what's necessary to match ours. And based on how many people will use it for an off-road vehicle standpoint, do we need to redesign our roadways versus the people who are currently using them in the on-road vehicles?
Yeah. I mean, I guess my point of that is, as I said in my introduction, that 22 states already have this. And
Yeah.
I'm curious what they have that we don't have.
I don't know how they've designed their
Yeah.
roads.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anyone else, I know, Ms. Lyons had mentioned you may want, were you in here in time to sign up for the public hearing? Did you have anything you want to add?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Beth Lyons and I represent Mobile County Commission. They've just asked for me to share the concern of us as well. We have a lot of dirt roads, a lot of unpaved roads, a lot of rural roads, and a lot of county roads like most counties. And I know just from personal experience, you know, I have a licensed golf cart, low-speed vehicle that's road ready, but I wouldn't ride it anywhere where there was a lot of traffic. So I think that's the concern the county commission has, and just wanted to share it with you that we support the position of the Association of County Commissioners in this regard.
Okay,
Thank you for allowing my comment.
Thank you. All right. That, as far as I know, that concludes it unless there was someone that missed the sign-up sheet other than Ms. Lyons. All right, we'll open it up to members.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
That might have been late, I apologize. Mr. Chairman. Can someone explain to me what's the manufacturer's position on this?
Mr. Chairman, okay. The manufacturer, I'm sorry. The association that the companies created that make these machines have provided you a letter saying that they oppose this legislation. As Justin mentioned, in every owner's manual we can find, there is a disclaimer telling the owner of the vehicle not to get on public roads because of the safety. We assume that was written by the attorneys that would defend them if they got sued. But they're clearly telling the owners and drivers of these vehicles to stay off the roads.
Is that safety warning based on their inability to be set up for road with mirrors and other things, or is it about the chassis and turning and flipping or something of that nature?
I'm speculating, okay, but I think the issue is the speed at which the vehicle would go on a public road. It's not designed with all of the features that our car has that allows us to steer at 45 miles an hour and stay on the road. It's a vehicle that's made less expensively than a car. It's much lighter than a car, so in curves it's not going to hug the pavement the same. Now I'm being an engineer, the same way that an automobile will. Now those are the concerns.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Price.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We saw, as you mentioned a while ago, one of the speakers mentioned, and Justin, thank you for your comments, but that this bill basically was last year. So we also see that we have 22 states that are already doing this. And I've had a number of my engineers have reached out to me, and a lot of the concerns that you have, they had. I've also talked to our sheriff and understand his concern. But what I would love to see is for you guys to get with the sponsor and see if we can find some common ground. We have gated communities all over this state, and I know that's not a dirt road, okay? But what we're doing is we're separating between those type vehicles and these vehicles that we have allowed to be on roads, okay? I have sheriffs that have come to me in different parts of my district, and they have a concern that they would like to see these vehicles licensed and tagged. And it's an identification reason. For the simple reason of they get phone calls of people that are messing up the roads, like you said, and the officer approaches them and they take off across the field. But there's one thing now, if we do tag that vehicle, that they can identify now who they are. And I understand that that's reaching out there. But what I'm saying is this bill will continue to come up year after year, because just like the sponsor mentioned, we have hunters and other people that are asking us, why can we not do that? So I don't know that there is any common ground. But before we go further, I would appreciate if we would take the time to sit down in a room with the sponsor and see if we can work something out. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Price. Senator Melson, do you have something you want to say?
Well, I just think next thing you know, Senator Price will be wanting to free range his cattle.
There you go.
We took care of that last year. All right, Mr. Sponsor, I'll give you the last word on this legislation. We are going to
Thank you for the comments, and said I'm happy to work something out. And the people that have contacted me, I think, are trying to be responsible citizens and say, this is how I use my vehicle, and I'd like for it to be tagged so that when I do drive it that way, I'm not breaking the law. And I would point out, I think if you get stopped by the sheriff that decides to stop somebody for not having a tag, I think you get, 6 points on your driver's license for that being stopped with no tag, reckless driving, all the things that they could add on to it. And so it's, like I said, I think these are people that are simply saying, I use this way, and, I wanna be a responsible citizen and get a tag on it and meet these requirements. And, like I said, I would argue that they're as safe as a golf cart on the road, and they're as safe as a motorcycle on the road, probably safer than a motorcycle. I would drive one of these and I wouldn't drive a motorcycle. So I think that there is a way to make this happen like 22 other states have done, and 2 of the states border us that have done it. And so I think we can work something out. But thank you for the hearing, and if that's okay with you, there's 2 people that have mentioned they would like to talk to me before we vote on it, just to make sure they're clear on a couple of things in it, and I'd like to put it back on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay, with that,
Thank you.
we will carry over SB 64, and we are carrying over SB 45. Is there any other word from committee members? Thank you all for your participation and being here, and time to go to work upstairs again.